And it is clear today that while the Cold War is long over, the need for the same qualities that brought people through that, for the courage and the resolve in defending liberty and in pursuing peace, is absolutely as vital today as it was half a century ago. Now, obviously, everyone in this room doesn't need a Secretary of State or Secretary of State of Great Britain or Frank Steinmeier, the Foreign Minister of Germany, or anybody else to come in here and do a long list of the litany of the crises we face. It's pretty obvious that probably never in history have we been dealing with as many hotspots, as many failed or failing states, all at one time. Not to mention a Kim Jong-un and a nuclear program and other challenges all at the same time. So everybody here understands that. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And Daesh's campaign of terror now extends its reach well beyond Iraq and Syria. And the Syrian civil war, which has now claimed more than 250,000 lives, still rages. We are facing, together, the gravest humanitarian crisis in Europe since World War II. As innocent people, many of whom are just women and children, are either trapped inside a country without access to medicine and food, or they have been forced to flee. And the flood of desperate migrants has now spread well beyond the Middle East. As we know, 50% of the people now knocking on the door of Europe, with a whole industry that's been created to try to help move them. And some very perverse politics in certain places that turns the dial up and down for political purposes. Half of them now come from places other than Syria. Think about that. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. So the burdens of Europe, which is already facing a complex economic, political, and social strain, is now even more intense. And I want to make it clear to all of you, we in the United States aren't sitting across the pond thinking somehow we're immune. We're not sitting there saying this is your problem, not ours. No, this is our problem. The United States of America understands the near existential nature of this threat to the politics and fabric of life in Europe. And that is why we are joining now in enforcing a NATO mission to close off a key access route, and that is why we will join with you in other ways to stem this tide because of the potential of its damage to the fabric of a united Europe. Now, the truth is that in every decade since its founding, the EU has been tested by forces, internal and external, that benefited from a house divided. We know many Europeans right now feel overwhelmed by the latest round of challenges, including concerns about the UK's potential exit from the EU. Here again, however, I want to express the confidence of President Obama and all of us in America that just as it has so many times before, Europe is going to emerge stronger than ever, provided it stays united and builds common responses to these challenges. Now, obviously, the United States has a profound interest in your success, as we do in a very strong United Kingdom staying in a strong EU.